Hi friends, I'm Jody. Welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to make a 3-strand necklace, but it's going to stop right about here and we're gonna have chain going up the rest of the back. And I went through my stash and I was looking for some elements. So I found I have a lot of Amazonite in various sizes and shapes. I have a lot of wood beads in various sizes and shapes. I have some beautiful metal pieces that we can use, and I have some small check glass beads that I want to use and some African turquoise that I'd like to use too. So we're going to make this necklace, and I want it to be eclectic and fun, but yet be very coordinated as far as like colors, but yet stand out because of shapes and textures and design, if that makes sense to you guys. So anyway, I have like an empty house now except for my husband. My daughter just left today. It's Sunday and he's sitting down getting ready to watch the Lions play. And I thought this would be the prime time to try to catch up on some videos. So here I am and let's go. Okay, first things first, let's talk about what we see on the mat. So on the mat, I have Beadalon 7-strand beading wire in antique bronze, and I've cut 11 inches, 3 of them. So knowing that some of this will be gone because we'll be using it to, we'll be crimping it and everything. So I have that. I have 2 pieces of antique bronze cable chain, which is 8 inches in length each. I have various little pieces and parts that we're going to need: crimp beads, wire guardians, some eye pins. I'm thinking we're gonna need 3, but we might need 2. So I have my jump rings off to the side. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And you'll see that I have several sizes of some wood beads here. I've got 8mm, 6mm, 10mm. I've got some flat coin ones. I have a bunch of flower Amazonite, and I have 10-inch rounds. I have rondelles. I have over in the side more 10-inch rounds. I have this nugget that I want to use, and I have some other nuggets in here too as well. So I wanted to choose the flower Amazonite, one because I have a ton of it, 2 because there's so many different like colors and patterns in it that I thought it would match what I'm trying to do. I went through my findings and I found I have these beautiful large spacer beads that I got from Bead Box Bargains, and I have some large bead caps or tassel toppers that I got from Bead Box Bargains as well. I have several little one-offs here as far as like some metal spacers, and I have a clasp. I do have some plain antique bronze metal spacer beads. These are about a 3mm. Have some antique bronze small bead caps. Here is my African turquoise, and here are some check glass spacers in like a coppery bronze. These also came from Bead Box Bargains. These came from Silver Silk and More in their pop-up shop. And this stuff's been in my stash, and these came from Bead Box Bargains. So quite a bit of things coming from all different areas. My chain is also from Bead Box Bargains. So the first thing we need to do is we kind of need to set ourselves up, right? So I'm just going to move some of this stuff off to the side here just to kind of give us some more room to maneuver. What we're going to end up doing first and foremost is making our 3 strands. So let's get those out in front of us. And I am wanting to kind of lay these out to where they're going to be really close to each other, if not kind of like right on top of each other. So it's going to be kind of maybe like a little bunchy looking. Maybe I will change my mind on that and we'll do it a little bit different. I don't know yet at this point. All I know is that I need to start here. So the first thing we're going to do is I do want a piece that's going to have a lot of really large beads on it. So I want this beautiful chunk of Amazonite to be like my center point of my 1 strand. So here it is, and I really would love it to just be able to stay just like that, but I don't think that's going to be possible. As a matter of fact, I think I want to flip it around this way since, well, it still wants to flip around. Anyway, it's fine. It'll be fine. So we have this beautiful Amazonite here, and we're going to start at that point. And I know I only have 2 of these spacers left in my stash, so we're going to use those up. These kind of necklaces are a good time for you to use up some of your little random pieces that you might have, and just kind of, you know, give them a new life. And then let's go ahead and put on like a couple of these flower Amazonite, and I'm going to use some bead caps as well. But first, let me see, maybe we need to use like our little bronze check glass bead first. Let's do that. Whoop. Let's do that. All right, so now that we have our center established, I'm going to go ahead and clamp off this one side so we can just focus on one side at a time here. And I'm going to put on this bead cap. It's going to hide, these used to be on like an old memory wire bracelet, so we're going to try to hide the stain of that. I know I can clean it off, but this will absolutely hide that. The bracelet I took it off was like, I don't know, 5 years old, 4 years old, but so I took it off that. And don't worry if you do take something like that apart. I mean, metal is going to tarnish, you know, it's not going to be 100% tarnish free. Metal does what it does. So you can wipe it off, or you can put a bead cap over it. It's absolutely fine. And then after that, I think I would like to go in with one of these really pretty wood beads that I have. Another reason why we are mixing some of the wood beads in here is because it's going to lighten it up a little bit as well. It won't be so heavy of a piece. And then let's go ahead and grab one of these little check glass beads. And I think, yep, it fits like perfectly like in that little hole there. So that's good. We want that. And then I want to use one of these big spacers. So remember, this is going to be our chunky side. This one's going to be our big fluffy piece. Okay. So put on another one of our little spacers. And now this is something that you can do with anything that you have, like if you have an abundance of a certain gemstone and you have all these other little pieces that you think would look just fantastic with it, this is your opportunity to grab those pieces and put them together. Maybe go through some of your bead soup to see if you have some extra spacers that maybe you only have a few of. This is a good opportunity to use those up and to really kind of make them shine, give them back some of their much needed life. All right. So the other thing we're going to kind of keep an eye on is as we get closer to the top of our strand, we're going to start wanting to use some small little spacer beads. And the reason is because they're going to fit inside this cone, and we want to use some smaller beads up in here. And we don't have to go up very, very far, but that's what we're going to want to do. So there we go. And then let's go ahead and bead this other side and see where we end up here. Essentially, this is like kind of like a stash buster. Like let's work on rebuilding our stash with some newness. And the one way to give yourself permission to do that, if you are like me and you feel like you need to give yourself permission to do that, is to use up a lot of one kind. Now, Amazonite's one of my absolute favorite gemstones. So I tend to have a lot of it. I feel like I'm always needing to buy more of it, even though I already have a ton of it. As a matter of fact, I just bought some a couple weeks ago from Sam's Bead Shop, one of the live sales. And yeah, I didn't need it. I really didn't, but it was a different shape though. It was quatrefoil, and I thought that I would really love that. I'm not using it today because I think I have a plan with that later on. But we are definitely going to use up some of my old stash here. So here we go, just mimicking the other side. All right, just making sure we're staying where we need to stay with this. It's been a while since I was able to sit down at my table. It feels kind of good. I'm enjoying it. Ashley had her procedure and it went really well. So hopefully this will help her with some of her pelvic pain that she's been having and everything else. So that's what we're hoping for. All right, so what we're doing here now is I'm just going to take some of these metal spacers that I have. We have a ton of them, so I'm just going to take some of these and we're going to just bead some on. Probably, I'm going to say, I'm going to test this out here real quick. Probably 4 or 5. Stick this through here real quick. Yeah, so probably a couple more. So let's do 5. And then we're going to close off this end. And we don't need this yet, but we're going to close off this end. So let me grab the other things I need. I need a wire guardian, and I need a crimp bead. All right, so we got that on there. I'm not giving myself a ton of room for this, but that's okay. This one's gonna probably be in our little like scoop of beads, probably like more of like the base of them because they are the bigger beads. You guys, we are like 40 people away from 1,000. Can you believe it? Like this is, and I looked back and my first video was like 2 months ago. This is to me like unheard of. I never thought that this would be possible for me. And I'm so excited, and like just having you guys here building me up, and we're building each other up, which I want to say you guys are such an amazing group of people. Absolutely love you all so much. You know, I get to interact with you on so many different platforms, and it's really, really nice. And I'd still like to be able to share pictures of what people make. So far we've had Jane and we've had Loretta, and I would love to see anybody else who wants to share, and I can share it to our YouTube community, and we can all just like be excited for each other and cheer each other on for the things that we are making and accomplishing in our own little bead world that we have. This channel isn't about me, it's about us. So I want to make sure that you guys are getting the recognition that you all deserve. You all work so hard and you're so talented too. And I would really love to see and share more of your pieces. So if you want to, go ahead and email me some pictures that you would like me to share, and I will do that. And then they'll be shown on the community part of our YouTube here, this channel. All right, so yep, didn't give myself a lot of room, but that's okay. We're just going to take it easy, take it slow, get it in there. This isn't going to be a terribly difficult or time-consuming piece, so we have time to take our time and really just make sure it's what we want to have done. All right, so now that that's in there, I'm just going to keep scooting that wire through other beads and kind of hide that wire. And let's see. Come on back. Oops. I might need to get in there with my pliers and grab that wire. So maybe if you're going to do this, maybe leave yourself more room at the top, or maybe cut just a little bit extra. It's funny, the one time I don't cut myself a lot extra is when I really need it. Okay. All right, so we got that. Let me just, I'm going to grab this and pull that down. If there's a will, there's a way, you guys. So my daughter got here Wednesday after dinner, and she just left a little while ago, and it was so nice to have some time to spend with her and just hang out with her. And we had some nice, you know, quiet time. She did some homework while she was here because she's trying to get her master's, and just super wonderful. And then William is out of town this weekend. He's spending some time with his dad, which is really good. I'm so glad he is. And then Xander is out of town this weekend too. He's doing some stuff with his girlfriend and her folks. So Jacob was able to come over yesterday. He's my oldest bonus son. He's the one who just got married this summer. Unfortunately, his wife was working, so we didn't get to see her. But my mom and my brother came over too. So we had like a lot of company yesterday, and it was really nice. All right, and instead of me trying to like cram that wire inside there, I'm gonna go ahead and just snip this one right off. There we go. All right, so we got the one done. Here's our first one, which looks really nice. And then let's go ahead and make our next strand. Just gonna move this one up here. All right, so our next strand, we're gonna wanna kind of look at this and make sure that we're not, make sure that we're kind of doing some opposite stuff here. So we wanna do something bigger right here maybe, and here, but maybe not here. So let's take a look and see what we have. So in the bottom here, I have some flatter dyed Amazonite chunks. We can maybe pull those out and add some brightness to this. That's like a broken bead, so, or is it? Nope, that's just a, well, I don't know. Let's just put that one, it's kind of weird looking. Let's put that one off to the side. All right, so let's use some of these small ones and add like a little bit of brightness. So we have some bright, and then we can use, let's do maybe this little piece here. And before I get too far and get too crazy, let me go ahead and clamp that. All right, so while we're doing that, now we can use something bigger next to it. Let's maybe do a, wonder how these discs would look, the wood discs. Okay, yeah, that would look good. See, and then we could follow it up with something smaller. So let's do that. And let's maybe do, I have a bunch of these little guys. Well, maybe not a bunch of them, but I've got a few little Amazonite rondelles. And we got some 6mm ones here that I pulled out. So we have that option too. So let's maybe do a 6mm Amazonite. I just want to make sure you guys can still see okay. Let me push that up there. Bring this up. So let's do this one. And another bead cap. Whoop. And then let's maybe do one of these spacers. Let's use this guy here. Bring some more metal elements into it. And then let's do our bead cap. Let's do another Amazonite. And another bead cap. And since we're coming up here by this, let's use something flat again. Let's do this one. Save this one for the other side. So this is what we have so far, and I think it's looking really pretty. Let's maybe go in with this little wood one, just right up next to that bead, give it some contrast. And let's do another one of these little coppery ones. And let's do some of these Amazonite rondelles. So I've got a couple of those. So let's do the bead cap and 2 of them and a bead cap. And let's pause there for a second. We'll get caught up on the other side here. And we know what we want to do. So let's just follow our pattern. I'm going to try to keep my hand out of your way. So first we have our spacer. And then we have our coin, our wood coin. Let's do another spacer. Do a bead cap. One of our 6mm Amazonite. All right, and another bead cap. We have one of these little flat ones. I have another one that's similar to that one, but not exactly the same. So let's use this one. It'll just give it like another little different look. And then let's go right in with our bead cap, our other 6mm flower Amazonite, and another bead cap. Then we can use our other Amazonite freeform little chippy guy, another small wood bead, our spacer, bead cap, and 2 Amazonite rondelles. There's my last little Amazonite rondelle, which we may use for something. All right, so let's see now how this will end up looking. So like I said, I want it to rest pretty much on top of the other ones, right? So we know that it needs to be like a certain length. We want it to kind of start and end at the same spot. So now we have room for just our spacers. So let's do our spacers, and we're gonna do 5 again. Maybe we should just do 4. No, I think we can do 5. There we go. Put that aside. Grab our crimp and our wire guardian. Hold on one second, guys. All right, sorry about that. I'm back. I had a sneeze I could feel coming on, and so I wanted to take care of that. All right, let's put on our crimp and our wire guardian. And this time we'll have a little bit more room because this is going to be just a hair shorter than the other one that we made. So we'll just scoot that bead right up there. right where we want it. Try not to cross our wires. Let's go ahead and crimp that crimp bead down. And again. There we go. And then we can just scoot that right over, scoot those beads right over top of both of those wires. And then just tip it and let gravity do its work. And then do the same thing on this side. So we're going to need 5 of our beads, or yes, we did 5. Those 2 are stuck together. So 1, sometimes they get stuck together, and because when they're painted or, you know, the finish is put on them, so you just need your cutters and just cut them apart. It doesn't hurt the bead at all, it just cuts it apart. All right, so now we have our 5 on there. We need our crimp. I'm using some really small crimp beads that I got from Beadbox Bargains this past week. I got a bunch of findings, and I thought, you know what? It's been a long time since I used their crimp beads and crimp tubes, so I thought I'd give them another shot. Maybe they have a different buyer. I know that a few years ago I had a hard time using some of them. They wouldn't like fold the way I thought they should, so I was disappointed and I didn't use them, and except for when I was just flattening them, because they seemed to work just fine for that. So, but now I wanted to give it another opportunity. Plus, you know, it's nice to be able to save a few dollars here and there. I'm sure the Beadalon ones will always be my favorite because I feel very successful with them. But so far these have not been, I haven't had any issues. So, which is great. So if you haven't given their bead cap or crimp tubes and crimp beads a chance in a while, maybe give them a chance. Maybe you'll find that you like them. If not, then just go back to the brand that you used to using. And all that matters is that you feel successful with what you're making. And so you see what I'm saying? They're going to be like right on top of each other. It's going to be a little bit shorter, but not much. Like they're going to hit. All right, so now we have those 2 done, and let's make our final one. Our final one is going to consist of a lot more small beads. So we're going to put these Amazonite ones away right now. I don't think we're going to use any of those. But what we do have is we do have this bead left over, which I absolutely love. We do have, because I still kind of want the center to have a little bit of something going on. I have a couple of these Amazonite rondelles and a couple of these spacers left. I would like to use those and have that be our center. So let's put this one on first. Follow it up with an Amazonite rondelle and this flat spacer. Same thing on this side. There we go. Pretty, 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 pretty. All right, so now we're going to use a lot of small beads. So I'm going to clamp off this one side. And we are just going to remove other things out of our way for right now that we don't need. And we're gonna just start beading. And I really want to use a ton of this African turquoise, but I also want to break it apart with like some of those spacers. So I did a spacer, and then I figured we'd do 5 of the African turquoise, a spacer, 5 more, a spacer, and so on. And I'm just grabbing these, whatever color pops up is what's going on. It doesn't matter to me because they're all very beautiful. And again, I got these from the Silver Silk and More pop-up shop. I'm not sure if he still has any over there. It changes. He has like usually some different themed stuff up. Like he'll have jewelry that's being made, and he will sell, like he's doing classes, and he'll sell the beads that he was using for that. Or sometimes it's just, you know, ones that he's kind of like scoped out and he purchased a bunch of them and he's adding them to his little pop-up shop. So don't forget that, just, you know, it's not just Silver Silk products that he has over there, that he does have beads, and they're typically really good pricing. So I do believe I got these when he had them marked down a little bit. I happened to go over there. I was just looking for a couple extra things, and I went over to the pop-up shop part of the website, and I found these, and they were a really good deal for me, so I snagged them. I'm not sure if he has any more left, but it wouldn't hurt to check. Especially if you like African turquoise. It's really, really pretty. I love the deeper colors that are in it with just a little splash of like some lighter colors. It's really, really gorgeous. All right, so there's another 5. And we're gonna probably, actually I think I may have went too far. You know what, maybe we'll just use African turquoise up through the top there. So let's do one more. And just to make sure we're getting our sizing correct, actually, no, because that's 6. Let's do the spacer. We'll use one of these spacers. There we go. All right, and now I'm going to go ahead and just clamp this for now. And let's do our other side here. So let's do 5, nope, spacer first. 5 of the African turquoise. Spacer. Okay, got 5 of those. 1, 2, 3, looks like 4. So we are on our 3rd one here. Okay, and then 1 of our metal spacers. All right, so let's see what we have going on. I'm going to see how it lays. Oh yeah, that's going to be just about perfect. So let's go ahead and start with this end, and we can go ahead and close it off. We're going to need our crimp and our wire guardian. I'm just going to loosen this up a little bit and slide it down because we want a little bit more room. There we go. So let's get our crimp on there, our wire guardian. Now I don't think it'll fit through too many of these beads, so we're going to just string it through our crimp and that very first bead. These little African turquoise beads have really small holes, so I don't think 2 strands will fit through there. So now that we have that in position, let's go ahead and crimp and crimp. There we go. And we can trim off what we don't need. Let's trim it off up here so that I can hide that strand, and there we go. Okay, let's see. Next we need another crimp and another wire guardian. And we're going to do the same thing over here. And just pull that straight down. There we go. Sometimes if you stick your tool inside where the wire guardian is, you can get a better grip and you can pull down your strand a little bit better. And I'm just making sure it's not crisscrossing underneath that bead. And there we go. And let's go ahead and trim this right off, right up there by the crimp. And then we can tuck that right into that bead and we're all good to go. All right, so we have our 3 strands. Very pretty. So now we could just string it right on or attach them right onto our chain, but I really would like to use these guys. All right, and how we're going to do that is we need a couple eye pins. So this is where sometimes I feel like it gets a little tricky, but I don't like to usually do this and put on wire guardians, but I kind of feel like it rubs, like those loops rub on the metal like so badly, like on these on here, that it needs to have a wire guardian. So it doesn't give you a ton of space, right? But if you can fit them all on there, or even if you want to use like a smaller jump ring, it's just, I kind of like them all on the eye pin if I can manage it. And it might be a tight fit, but if you do it and then just kind of have them all hanging there, it actually fits into the little cone better for me than if I had a jump ring on it. So we're just going to do it that way, and let's see how it ends up working out for us. Now, the other thing is sometimes you need a bead at the top there, but this time I don't think we do. I think it looks fine just the way it is. So we're going to leave it just like that. Otherwise, you might want to put a bead between the cap and your loop. But this is fine, just like this. But what you can do as well is if you want something right here, you can put another like little bead. So let's grab one of these little turquoise rounds, little African turquoise round, and let's maybe do one of these little check glass spacers. just like that. And then we can go ahead and do our simple loop and attach it right to our chain. So we're just going to bend that straight over, trim off what we don't need, grab our round nose pliers, roll it back onto itself, nice little round loop, then just twist it open and put on one end of your chain. It'll work, I know it will. Just gotta get it in there. Problem is sometimes like you get everything starts scooting up towards your little opening and then you're like, I can't get that in there. Let me just twist it open a little bit more. Maybe that other bead is just getting in the way. Okay, now we got our chain on there, and now we can just twist it closed. Make sure it's closed all the way. And make sure that you're putting your strands on the way you want them to lay on your eye pin. Like your smallest strand is going to go in first. So now we have this eye pin. And let's put on our small strand, our middle strand, and our bottom strand. Dog's going crazy about something. I know there's no meal today, it's Sunday, but who knows? Who knows what he's going crazy about? He does silly things sometimes. All right, so now we're gonna choose another little turquoise round. There we go. And let's do another simple loop. And use our round nose pliers to make our loop. Making sure it meets down at the bottom there, or the top of your bead, and it closes all the way. Grab our other chain, and then let's pop this one open. Put our chain on. All right, and then we need to put our clasp on, and that is the end of this necklace.
We'll see, look at that in.
All right, sorry about that, guys. Shane needed to come in. Apparently it was something being delivered for me, and something I'll be doing a video on probably today. I wasn't expecting it today, but it came really quick, so it's going to be a pleasant surprise. All right, so let me get my tools out here and open this up. Let's put our jump ring on. And our toggle clasp. And then I'm not wearing a necklace right now, so I will be able to turn this around and try it on for you guys so you can see how it looks. And there we go. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, everyone, here is our Amazonite and wood and metal necklace. I think it turned out really cute. The length is good. I wanted it to be a little bit longer. So see from a distance, there's the chain, and then here's all of our pretty pieces. And like I said, they're just gonna kind of like lay on each other like that. And that's the look I was going for. So, whoop, that one wants to be a little weird. Fix that. Anyway, so here it is, and this is absolutely something that you can do with some of the stash beads that you have. I won't have any links, I don't think, for anything here, but know that most of my findings came from Bead Box Bargains. They are fantastic. If you've never shopped with them before, please give them a chance, give them a shot. Don't underestimate the stuff that's in your stash. Don't and just look under rocks, right, guys? I mean, that's what you have in your stash, right? It's a bunch of rocks. But just kind of go through them and say, wow, you know, I sure have a lot of X, Y, and Z. What can I do with this? What would look great with it? Throw some metal with it, throw some acrylic with it, throw some wood with it, and just really have a great time with it. All in all, this necklace is not very heavy at all. And I think it's because I did throw some extra little wood pieces in there and use some tiny ones too. So go ahead, have fun, be creative. Again, if you're wanting to have me share any of the pieces that you've made, please send them to me in email, and I would absolutely love to share those for you. Thank you guys so much, and thank you for being a part of this journey with me. We're going to have a lot of fun on the way, and I'm just tickled that we are together in this. So sending you guys all my love, and I'll see you again real soon, probably in the next like 10 minutes. All right, bye guys.